No! No! Oh, this arena sucks. Damn it! No, no, no! What the hell? Oh, wow. Why? Why were none of those hitting? Seriously, this game sucks so freaking bad. Hey, I'm Matt, and I'm trying to beat the original Uncharted on a brutal difficulty. If you missed the first episode, we ended on this bridge in the middle of Chapter 4 with 137 deaths so far. I was just so done with this game last time that I couldn't even finish this chapter. If you missed it, I highly recommend you check it out, and you get to that link in the description. In case you missed it, I should explain what brutal difficulty is. It's only unlocked once you beat the previous highest difficulty, Crushing. That's right, Crushing is the previous hardest difficulty, not hard, as you might think. That's the second highest difficulty, and it comes with the most intense set of game mechanics I've ever freaking seen. Enemies basically have like laser vision because it's 1 to 2 shots before you die. If you thought they were stormtroopers before, they are now Sniper Elite 5. Like, it is wild, the difference. If you're lucky enough to actually get one of these enemies, they will never drop more than like 5 ammo ever, pretty much. And frankly, that means you just have to play it safe in every arena and die a lot so you learn the creative way to overtake that arena. It's a nightmare. So, back to this bridge. We do a short bit of parkour and then we hang off the side of this bridge and die a lot. And don't worry, it's not just the enemies that'll kill you, it's the freaking water too. Guess how many times I died of water in this episode alone? Put your answers in the comments. I even go so far as to change my controller sensitivity, thinking that would help. No, because why would it? Closer to this screen than I am. Yeah, yep, see, is this a better angle? Nope. And don't worry, in true gamer fashion, I try the exact same thing again on my next life, and yep, I died again. Okay, so they can. Who would have guessed? Another water death later, and I finally figure out how to get on top of the ledge, and then I managed to just get extremely lucky here and pick off both enemies right after each other, and I don't question it, and I just keep going. Go. Jump. No! No! Oh, okay. Yep, that explains this game in a nutshell. I somehow managed to die. I somehow managed to die to falling. I somehow managed die. That's how I write it. That's not how I need to say it. I somehow managed to die to falling a couple more times before jumping directly into this guy's bullet. No, you still can't really swim. At least it's not a good idea. Oh. And then that marks death number 4 to water. Whoa! Honestly, I think the game is taking pity on me at this point because on my next life, I'm able to just blind fire this guy. And then I'm also lucky enough to get the guy next to him immediately after, which is super awesome. So I climb over to this little bit of land and catch my breath, pick up some ammo and a grenade, climb this vine, and go into the next area. Oh, this arena sucks. This arena is gonna suck so bad. And that's best represented by me immediately getting seen and killed. Awesome. Once I actually got into the arena, my first idea was to throw a grenade, and that kind of worked, but like not really. They responded mainly by throwing grenades back, and I learned that the hard way. But then I learned the ultimate strategy, which is that you don't need to actually arc throw your grenades. If you just tap the grenade throw button, which should be like L1 or L2, instead of holding it down, you're able to just like beam the grenade straight to your enemies. And frankly, that was like a game changer for me. Now, if I was a smart person, I would have used that exact strategy in my next life, but I didn't. Instead, I employed the classic gamer technique, wait too long and they'll find you anyway, and that goes about as well as it always does. On my next life though, I was like, oh yeah, I should probably do that grenade thing again. And I was able to get 3 enemies with just 1 grenade, and that was awesome. I just wish I could have actually used it to advance, because once I was able to consistently non-arc throw the grenades though, I made it through the entire arena without a bullet to spare, literally. So I scrounged up as much ammo as I could before heading into the plane. I skipped the cutscene and immediately headed out of the plane, and it took a couple tries, but I was able to make like a murder alley, like going straight down. And that was pretty successful. That brings us to the last section of this arena, which was the worst, frankly. I'm going to speed through this whole thing because it was literally like 40 deaths just to make it from this checkpoint to that door, the end of the arena. I don't know why, and it hurts me to this day thinking about it. Once I finally do manage to kill the last guy though, I collect as much ammo as I can, as always, and I bask in the fact that this whole arena was 69 deaths total. Nice. It just wouldn't be Uncharted though if there wasn't some death-defying parkour to interrupt all these fight sections. But once we land, we're pretty easily able to sneak attack these first two enemies. It doesn't always work, but I'd say it works like 80% of the time, so that's the method I go with. You just really gotta get your timing right, like pretty much everything else in this game. From here, I take out a couple more enemies, including this guy at the top of this structure. That's the key player. You gotta get up there and use his rocket launcher for the next section of enemies, but you gotta be careful because you only really can use like 1 round per wave of enemies. Once I learned that, I'm actually able to make it through, and in my efforts to collect ammo, I set off a freaking tripwire. So I have to restart it again. Shouldn't be too hard, I just did it, right? And, you know, in fact, on the next life, I even make it all the way to the last enemy again. So, how about that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I actually died to him though, so...
No, dude!
That almost counts. So I'm restarting this again. And I actually used the grenade launcher pretty well.
Let's go.
But I just completely forgot about the 4th wave.
Come on.
That was cool. And then I'm even able to make it to the last wave again. But this time, I run out of ammo.
No, dude.
What the hell? So I restart from the end for a 4th time, and it takes a couple tries, but I'm finally able to make it. And don't worry, I am super careful when I am collecting ammo this time.
Yeah, we made it.
But that means I am finally done with Chapter 4. This whole arena was 30 deaths. Frankly, not too bad. It's just that at least 4 of them were basically my fault, or at least that I'm going to take responsibility for. On to Chapter 5. Chapter 5, once again, starts with some vine parkour on the outside of this chapter. Then you go inside the castle, then outside the castle, then back inside the castle, and into your first firefight of this chapter. And let me just tell you, it doesn't get any easier, okay? At first, I tried waiting by the door, and that didn't work. And then I tried just going in guns a-blazing, and that didn't work.
No.
Actually, I was able to find a half-decent strategy where if you take cover right here and you constantly move back and forth, then you should be okay. Until this 3rd guy pops out with grenades. That maybe won't be okay. What the hell?
I don't even know what my death counter is at right now. I'm not sure I want to know.
Oh, sweet. I've now died 300 times in this game, and my notes just say, think of something funny. Clowns. But by using the Uzi, I'm able to tear through these first couple of guys, and I am pretty lucky, and I'm able to shoot this guy who's about to throw a grenade, which means he drops it and it explodes, killing himself. And then I'm actually able to one-shot headshot the guy next to him immediately after that. So I gather up all my ammo and head into the next section, which is just...
Damn it.
Another fight section.
I'm sure the shotgun was out. Yep. Dude, I was literally...
Come on. I found that the best strat here was to make another murder alley because that seems to be the only way to make any real progress in this game. And I must have been clairvoyant or something because I just shoot this red barrel, not knowing if anyone is near it, and I kill an enemy. So who's a real gamer now, huh? After I take out the remaining enemies, I collect up all the ammo for this arena and head to the top, where I get shot at out of nowhere. And that freaks me out so much, I run off of the freaking edge. I actually get pretty lucky, and I'm able to make it back to this point pretty quickly, using my last bullet to get the last guy using another red barrel. Once I collect all the ammo, I make sure to take out the guy that surprised me last time and climb up to where Elena's parachute is. Only Elena's not there. What? So we zip line down into this bunker and immediately die, because of course we do.
Oh, wow.
I try to stay in this bunker, but I don't have a great shot, so I use the first pistol to shoot the lock off, and then I use the West 44 to try to take out the rest of the guys, because even on brutal difficulty, the West 44 is still a powerhouse. It takes me a couple deaths, but I'm able to make it through this whole arena, and I actually recommend running along the top here, because there was one more shotgun guy that I didn't see, and he probably would have surprised me like the last guy did. Once we're all geared up and ready, I head into the area where those guys just came from, and turns out it's just a super narrow hallway with a really trigger-happy turret at one end. It's not overly difficult though, you just gotta do some parkour along this wall here where you're pretty safe, and then get your timing right, jump up and melee the guy that's standing in this little room, use his grenade launcher to take out the turret, and that's that. You definitely gotta stockpile your ammo in here though while you can, because this next section is horrendous. This next section, it honestly may be the worst gaming experience I've ever had. It takes me a few deaths before I even figure out how to make it through the first wave of enemies here. What works for me is distracting the first guy, hitting the guy in the top left, getting the guy in front of you, and then getting the far guy. It didn't always work, but after a couple tries, I was able to get it pretty consistently. I wasn't feeling too great at this point though, because the death counter is now up 200 from the start of the episode, and I'm nowhere near done with this arena. A few deaths later, and I realized the key to the second wave is using the AK. From there, I was running on pure adrenaline, and I actually easily took out the third wave too without realizing it. But that's when I forgot that the fourth wave existed, and I died. What sucks is, like, I believe if I had, like, remembered, because of, like, I was so locked in, I could have made it. Of course I would have thought I would have made it, though. It's always the game's never mine. Except for earlier, when it was. From there, though, I was just tired, and I got sloppy. I just kept dying over and over and over and over and over again. Like, I don't even feel like I can make an MLG pro gamer joke for Death 420, because, like, nothing freaking happened. That also means I've put like 100 deaths in just this arena alone so far, and there was nothing I wanted more than to just put the controller down and stop for the night. But I felt like I couldn't, because I hate stopping in the middle of arenas. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but like I have to grind through a boss fight, even if I hate it, because if I put the controller down, I'll never get back to it. I'll just keep thinking like, oh my god, I have to do that arena when I get back, and then I'll just never pick it up again. Happened with Baldur's Gate 3. I've made it all the way to the last boss fight, literally the final battle. I am in Baldur's Gate. I haven't beaten it yet. It's been sitting on my PlayStation for months now. That's true. Plus, if I did that, it would just be a repeat of last episode, and I can't do that. I can't have that. So I pressed on. I really should have prayed to the video game gods or something though, because it's still another 30 deaths before I make it. But let me tell you, when I did,
let's go! Holy hell.
Once I was able to pick my chin up in disbelief, I collected up some ammo and went into the very short last puzzle of the chapter. You swim through, climb on the left side, turn the wheel to raise the water level, then you jump in, go to the right side, climb up, turn the wheel again, and raise the water level some more. And then you just climb on out. And that is chapter 5. So to tally it all up, this last arena took 45 minutes of real time. That was 137 deaths and 323 deaths in this episode alone. Oh my god. If you'd like to see me go through video game torture, then it would be awesome if you hit like, and if you want to be super cool, you can hit subscribe too. That would mean so much to me. I'll also leave a link to the original stream, the previous episode, and the whole playlist of videos in the description below. You can also find me at MattYorkYT on pretty much every social media, so that way you know every time I go live and whenever I post a new video. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. See ya. Don't be like, I'm smirking at my own writing. It's crazy. Oh, I wasn't recording. Whatever. I actually got into the arena. Fuck. Was throw the grenades. I managed to make it through. What did I say? What did my phone want? Why is my phone? I'm supposed to take out salmon. All right, you're stalling too long. You go back inside the castle and into the first firefight of the chapter. Cool. Wow, we did it. Just like that. That was it.